So here's the game, Levi. You and I are male human beings. I have lived for over 6 decades. It has not been an easy thing. You and I are male human beings. We are judged more harshly. If you look at the picture of Adam and Eve, the rabbis say the man did not speak up 5 times. Honey, I'm heading for the tree of life. When the man expresses where his heart is, the woman's like, oh, I can help my husband and we can head for the tree of life and we can do this on the way and that on the way. And the rabbis say that the greatest omissive sin of Adam is he didn't express what he was feeling and thinking in the inside, heading for the tree of life. And the woman who loves to get things for the husband saw the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and it's beautiful and it does something good for the body, and women like to do healthy things, and it makes you wise like God. Oh my gosh, those are 3 wonderful things. I can get that stuff for me and my husband. She is the alongside helper. She's declaring that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is good for her and her husband, and she's trying to be provisional. She's just doing her job. The man didn't say, he could have said, let's not go nowhere near that tree God told us not to eat from. Let's not talk to an animal in that tree that God told us not to eat from. Do not eat that thing. And the rabbis say that after she had eaten, even after she had eaten, if he had said, no, not for me, come on, let's eat from the tree of life, we never would have had death or all this pain. If the man had spoken up and said no for himself. So Levi, I'm challenging you. God says it's the man's fault, okay? You now have a woman and a child in your care, and their protection and their guidance, the going in a direction that makes them free, is your responsibility. And remember Abraham, 3 things. Abraham was called away from everything that he knew because God said, hey, I can't interact with you well enough. You're too stuck in your stuff. Come away from everything. Number 1, he got away from everything, all of the influences of his life, so God could really interact with him. Number 2, when a stranger came to his door, he treated that stranger like royalty. He took their best stuff. He took their time, their money, all of their focus, and they went and cared for a stranger that came to them, which were 3 angels. The person that was sent by God was amazingly attended to by Abraham. And number 3, he was willing to kill his own miracle child. He was willing to kill even the thing that God had given him, like his wife or his, put away his child. He was willing to set aside his own family and turn his family into a sacrifice to God, knowing that God could actually bring his son back to death. So those are the 3 things of Abraham. Get away from everything that you know. Be outrageously focused on the one sent to you from God. And 3, be willing to sacrifice and put in difficulty your own child, your own miracle child that came after you were 100 years old and you never had a baby. Like everybody in the church would say, oh, okay, God will not be telling you to sacrifice your child that came as a miracle. You're not hearing from God. We're going to put you in a straitjacket, okay? Understand this, man. Abraham, if he had presented his idea of taking Isaac up to sacrifice him, if he had presented that to the public and to the church, he would have been considered freaking sane, okay? So Abraham made an insane devotion of putting away things that were happy and pleasant to him, even his own God-given gift. That is the reality. Are you going to be that? That's the question. And then, as well as that, if you are a part of the church that does not agree that the woman is more easily deceived by troubling spirits, if you are saying Galatians 3:28, oh, we're all equal, and we don't have job descriptions that give us different powers and responsibilities, if you're going to be in that, like, everything's cool environment, then get away from me quickly, because we have different roles as male and female. So, the next one is going to be the admitting faults reality. So, think like Abraham, be like Abraham, have the guts to be that in everything. In everything. What is God calling you to put aside? What is God calling you to do? I mean, Yeshua says in John 6:29, they say, how do we get in on the work of the God? He says, connect with, pistuo, attach to the one that God has sent to you. Now, obviously, Jesus is the supreme sent one. But look, Paul was sending out other sent ones. The whole idea of Christianity is being sent. And your wife is actually an empowering, powerful alongside one for a sent one. And I really feel like you need to stand up and start moving forward like a rocket ship so that she can be who she needs to be, because she is an unusual power, and you and I both know that. She has some afflictions, but also she has a freshness and a courage, and like there's like a knife steel clarity declaration that comes out of her mouth from time to time that cuts the mustard, man. It changes the atmosphere, changes the room. That woman has a speaking power, a power of expression. And, you know, just like all women, she has beauty, she has a bunch of other wonderful things, and she's just a person. But she was stuck in a certain atmosphere when she grew up, and as she grew up, there were presence of fake Christianity, there was presence of lies and cheating, there was presence of habits that continue, that demons actually camp out on, and we are all nearby to all that stuff. It's a constant battle. It's like getting through glue and jello, and it's never going to stop. And you need to be able to train your son how to know all the stuff that we didn't know when we were growing up. And the Transformation Vacation is a great place to start, because when you're surrounded by a group of people and you can rest your mind and you can be in God for a long, long, long period of time, you start discovering your real self, and it's great. Janelle didn't have that opportunity. Your wife didn't have that opportunity. And perhaps that's a thing that you should create for your whole family. That would be interesting. A Transformation Vacation for 3. Woo!